The work of caregiving is always challenging. Sometimes everyone needs a break. And that's what's happening here as two parents and a doctor in the special care nursery at Nashville's Baptist Hospital take up their instruments for some fun. Fun gives the hearts of servants a lift here at this healing hospital. Music is part of life, especially here in Nashville, Music City, USA. Indeed, music is an integral part of healing. Music that goes far, far back across the beautiful history of compassion. Across the millennia, there is a rich tradition of healing. At its center is a golden thread of love that weaves through the hearts of every caregiver who has ever lived. There is an ancient belief that each of us has a calling, sealed orders within us that are waiting to be opened by our lives. Those who hear this call of love and live it out in their life's work are those who possess a servant's heart. Every hospital has some compassionate people. In a healing hospital, the goal is to awaken the spirit of loving care in each and every partner. One way to awaken this spirit is to look into the servants' hearts of these four caregivers. 3 nurses and a physical therapist who have let us look into their work lives and their personal lives as they carry forward the golden thread of healing. Nurse Lorraine Eaton works on the edge of death every single day.
Yeah, if she's dropping. Here, we got it.
I can't get it.
Uh-oh. Oh, gosh. Where's her daughter? Here. Turn it off, turn it off.
Trina, we're getting a baby. Do we have an admission bed over here?
Charge nurse Laura Madden
Yeah, we
is
are.
a special
That baby
caregiver.
from normal nursery.
For 14 years, she has
George
loved
wants to move
and
it
served
over.
a unique group of patients.
They might. We probably
They are
should.
the smallest babies
Go
in
get
the
Jenny.
hospital. Sometimes weighing only a pound, they are among the smallest people in the world.
And I get excited coming in, especially if I have a primary and I've been taking care of her or him. It's like, I can't wait to see him today. It's neat to go in there and have that excitement of coming into work and seeing your babies and seeing the families and watching them grow. We go back on deliveries, and every time I go back on a delivery, I get excited. And I don't want that to ever go away. I think seeing a birth is a miracle, and I feel privileged to be part of that miracle. This is Jada, and she was born at 24 weeks gestation. She has 4 brothers, and she came quite early, and she's a week old. But she's going to be with us for a long time. Probably she will be with us until her due date. And so, you know, you figure when they usually go 40 weeks, and she was born at 24 weeks, she's got a long time here. Mom and Dad are like, feel like they're on a roller coaster ride. They say they go from day to day. They feel like every time the phone rings, They're scared to death, so right now we're just trying to give them some emotional support because it's a scary experience. It's a grieving experience. You expect a big healthy baby, and then you have a baby that came this early, that's hooked up to a lot of equipment, and that you're not able to hold and bond with. So right now, not only do we take care of Jada and her medical needs, but we take care of the parents and their emotional needs because it's scary. Your mama called and she said that she's going to be in a little bit. She said her and your daddy will be in here this afternoon. The hardest part about this job is always when we lose a baby. You feel so helpless. It's so hard to watch the families suffer. I cry with families a lot. I still cry, and I always will. And with a family that loses a child, I'm not afraid to go in there and be with them. Put my arm around them and tell them some of the hardest pains you've ever gone through or will go through. Things that help me the most when I'm discouraged at work or anywhere in my life is my faith, my family, and my friends. God is first and my family is second. They're everything to me. They make me laugh, they give me support. I enjoy being around them.
Janice Smith works in the shadows of people's pain.
Did you get any rest last night, Miss Renard? I think that's important to me to be serving in somehow in my life. Physically, because I'm helping people get up and move. Emotionally, because I can get to know a person over a few days while they're here and help meet some of those needs if I'm able. And spiritually, because we have a Christian foundation to this hospital. So at times I can address those things as well. Is your left ankle still as painful today?
It's hurting pretty bad.
When I'm with a patient and trying to help them walk, I'm trying to figure out what are the most important needs that need to be addressed. What's going to help this person get back closest to home as possible. But at the same time, we need to be mindful of how comfortable they are with me being there, with me touching them, with me lifting them, at times me hurting them if I'm moving an operative extremity, etc. So there's a lot of things to be mindful of and try and pick up on the patient's cues. You feel like you can walk some steps today, or is it too painful?
It's painful.
Is it? Okay.
Oh.
We'll just scoot around and have a seat in this chair for a little while then. The hardest part of my job is causing pain.
Oh, I'm sweating.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Just gotta get your feet under you. They're gonna get the best outcome if you help them through this pain for a few days, and then they're gonna be feeling a lot better.
One of the things that I have learned in this job is a respect for our lives, a respect for human life. For some folks who become so incapacitated, have such a devastating disease process that wrecks their body, that leaves them without any function of life, really. Sometimes death is a welcome thing. Miss Evans, little tiny breaths. People die. You get to a point where you do everything that you can medically, everything that's within your power and your ability and your knowledge to do. But then you get to a point where you have to step back and it's out of your hands. I know what I needed at the time that my mom died. I guess maybe that gives me a little bit of insight into what other people might need.
How do servants keep up their energy? For 25 years, Deidre Hall has started her days with song. Songs that lift her so that she may serve others.
Do like everybody else, get bathed in the morning, get your little coffee. In the meantime, I've got me some music playing in the background and just kind of prepare myself and get in my car and put my tape in. And the name of the tape is Open Up Your Heart, you know. And that's what I do every morning. I open up my heart to the Lord so I can hear what He wants me to do for today. And I ask the Lord to bless me in the mornings. Bless me. And I know if I get a blessing, I can give a blessing. And you have to be a blessing to receive a blessing. So I'm going to try to be a blessing, and I try to open myself up, get myself together, you know, to know where I stand in the mornings. So that song kind of helps me, I think, put me where I need to be in the mornings so I can, you know, be able to take care of my patients and be able to be a good teammate. I open up my heart. Oh, yeah. My son is a very big part of my life. To do the things your way. And like I say, when I hear the song in the morning, open up your heart, and I try to keep my heart open all day long, you know. Dear Lord, put you before anything I do or say today, because this is my gift that He has given me, and I want to represent it well. In the mornings, when I get out of my car, I just feel a lot better. They tell me when I come in the morning, here's Deidre, she's coming in here now, and they went, how do you come in every morning, you know, like this? Well, I do prepare when I come in here, and I'm not always like this, you know. I do have bad days too, and I am human, you know, and you make an effort to do it. You only, you know, get out of life what you put in life. Good morning. How are y'all?
When parents come in here, they have an expectation of this big healthy baby. They think they're going to have a big fat baby that's brought out to their room. They can nurse, they can have their friends come in and celebrate the birth of this baby, and it's a happy occasion. Well, it's not the case in here, because we have premature babies that are fighting for their life. And the parents themselves don't know if this baby's going to live. It doesn't look like the baby that they thought they were going to have. They can't do anything for the baby. They can't hold it. They can't feed it. They feel like, you know, this whole dream is shattered, and they're grieving.
But they did tell us when I was in the hospital room that at the point I was going to deliver that they wouldn't even resuscitate her. And when my water broke, I was I mean, I remember I just put my hands on she was moving, and I put my hand on my stomach, and I thought, this is maybe the last time I ever feel it. You feel guilty, and you're scared, and you want them,
And you can't hold them yet.
Can't love on them, you can't take care of them, you just got to watch somebody else do it, and it's been hard. It's been up and down emotionally. You're like, one minute you're happy and you're thinking of hope of her going home one day, and then the next time you're thinking of, you know, songs at her funeral, or, you know, you don't know where you're going, you know, with it, and how you're going to get through it if you do have to bury her, you know, because you want her so bad, you know.
There she goes. When I turn her over to assess her, she's just looking all around. I mean, she's just so alert today. I'm just like, what's going on out there?
My hands always go off first.
She loves it when you touch her. Look at how she settled down. So much the power of touch, the healing power. To not know for 3 weeks at a time, every other day, to be told she's not going to make it. She's not going to make it through the night. I can't imagine.
Amazingly, with a family of 5 and a full-time job, Laura still finds time to volunteer her efforts at the Mercy Children's Clinic, where she uses her special training and her unique gifts of loving care to look after small children in deep need of her help.
A calling is you're there to give. You're there for because you love to do it. You're there for your heart. I love my work. It's not just a job, it's a calling.
Not just a job, but a calling. That's why you see such joy in Laura's face.
Her heart rate's down considerably from what it was yesterday, and her blood pressure is dropping now. So, I mean, it could conceivably be today, but I shed a tear. I don't cry easily, but I always feel it. I always feel the pain.
As a servant caregiver, Lorraine has been present at death as much as any doctor or chaplain, and her heart always remains open to help families.
I don't know if you ever really get used to it.
Where does Lorraine find healing?
I don't think anybody can do what we as nurses do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's asking an awful lot of ourselves. When I go to work, I have to set my family aside for a while. And of course, they're always a priority. You have to have a place where you can come and kick your shoes off. See, I'm a no shoes person at home. It's a whole nother life. It's just a whole nother world, a whole nother place to be. Being able to relax and refresh yourself and renew yourself someplace. And that's what my home does for me. That's what this place does for me. It's truly become just my haven. I cross over that cattle gap and I'm just in my own world. And I love it.
On my toe.
No, I won't put a chair on you. Okay, now we're holding on to you good. We've got you. At times, patients are very upset with me for bothering them, and each patient's different, and you have to keep your ears and your eyes open to see what they need.
In the middle of this scene, stop. What about Janice? What are her needs? How does she maintain balance as a caregiver at home and at work?
Hey, Matthew. Hey! You ready to go?
Uh-huh.
Come on.
My brother hurt me, my arm.
What happened to your arm?
Uh-huh.
What happened? Did it get boo-boo?
Uh-huh.
Should I kiss it?
Yes.
Right where?
Right there. My fingernail.
Hey, Michael. Life outside of here right now is in a crisis. My husband left me and my 2 boys, and it doesn't appear that he wants to come back. Matt, who's 2.5, when I was pregnant with him and getting ready to make some changes in my life as far as maybe being a stay-home mom for a while or not sure what I was going to do, talking that over with my husband, he said, I don't think you should leave your job because I'm not happy in our marriage and I might leave. Since that time, I've pretty much been a single mom. It's changed the way I do things around home As a single mom, you have to not only do all the running around errands, shopping, groceries, all that, but you have to make it fit in with the kids. From there to here, from here to there, trucks big and small go everywhere. One fine day, a fox traveled through a great forest. Well, I guess, anytime you go through a divorce, you think, oh, it's all my fault. I'm such a bad person. What did I do wrong? The hardest part of my situation is missing being part of a whole family. I enjoyed being a wife, and I actually thought I was pretty good at it. And I miss that. In the evenings after the kids go to bed is a hard time, because that's when you'd be spending time with your husband. Or Christmas was really hard on me. Crying, loving my kids, cuddling up with them, and just remembering what I do have and knowing that things can be worse. I don't know how I keep my energy up other than God giving me a hand with what I need to do. And, just waking up and seeing your kids' faces and knowing you have another day to go out and take care of people.
We're going to keep it straight. And I'm going to keep it supported. We'll get you a pillow.
Put a pillow underneath my leg.
Yes, ma'am. Here it comes.
I remember coming home from work and just gonna unwind. I had like a 5-day stretch that I was gonna work. And my middle son came running out to the car and he said, Mom, Life Flight called and they're life flighting. Brian's been in an accident and they're life flighting him to Vanderbilt. So I started praying. I was like, dear God, please, make Brian be okay, all the way to the hospital. It's just, please let Brian be okay. And I kept asking him, I said, how is Brian? How is Brian? Is Brian dead? And they said, just let me explain to you. And I said, no, is he dead? And the doctor said, I have 2 sons and I can't imagine. And he said, and to answer your question, yes. It was my worst nightmare come true. So then I went to the room and I looked at him. And Brian had a piece on his face that I only see when the babies die. And I knew then that Brian was in heaven. And then I remember crying and saying, Brian, wake up, Brian, because he just looked so perfect. But then in my mind, I thank God that I have had the opportunity to see babies that die and go to heaven, because I saw that same look on Brian's face. And there was a peace in the room, so I knew where he was. His girlfriend was driving. They were just starting to get to know each other, and they were talking about how they each felt about life and deep discussions. And she said she looked over at Brian, and the last thing she remembers, he was laughing. And she was probably paying attention to Brian when she was driving, and then the next thing she knew, she heard a crash. A lot of the little babies I've taken care of this last year since Brian died, there's been an amazing closeness that we have had. At the beginning, it was 24/7. I mean, there was never a second that I didn't think about Brian. I still think about him. In the morning, I pray for strength to get through the day. He just smiled all the time. Every time you saw Brian, you'd see a smile. And I don't think he was ever unhappy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think you always learn, it's always hard because you never really truly believe it. I think how you get on is you don't focus on what you don't have. You focus on what you have. I will see a child that looks like Brian. I'll hear people at work talk about their college-age children and what they're going through. And I think of Brian because he would have excelled at school. Brian was at the top of his class. He was going to graduate the top 20. And graduation was one of the hardest days because it was a day we were going to celebrate. Brian, you worked so hard. We were going to have a party for him. My faith has helped me get through this. I can't imagine going through this without my faith. I think before I was a little bit afraid to get too close, that I would love too much and hurt, because I've lost a couple of babies that I've gotten so close to. So, I mean, my heart would be there, but there would be a little bit holding back. And since Brian died, I know that it's better to love and lost. I've got so much joy out of Brian, and so now I'm not afraid to step into difficult situations, I'm right there. You know, I've been there. I know what it's like. You know, I know what it's like to be waiting to see if your child's alive or not.
Deidre Hall commits her servant's heart to care for those with terrible head and spinal cord injuries.
This gentleman has been a minister for 47 years. Was on his way home from Bible study and had a car accident and had developed a quadriplegia. We'll get you shaved here. We don't want you to look like Rip Van Winkle, okay? All right? It's very hard for him. He's saying, why me? Which, you know, everybody would say that.
The fairness of which.
He and I have expressed a lot of his feelings and trying to deal with, you know, what he's going through and his family and trying to give him some hope and trying to keep him comfortable at this point. And they do kind of feel that he may regain some of his movement. And right now, mostly what we're doing is just giving him a chance to come to grips with what's happening to him, you know, at this point, so. But I know me, if I was laying there, I'd probably be the worst patient in the world because I know I won't have the liberty of doing the things that I've always done. They've been cut off just like that, nobody asking me or told me that this was going to happen, you know, so. Put yourself where they are for 1 hour and think about some of the needs. I mean, I'd like to have somebody that's coming in there with a smile on their face, you know. I can't help it if you don't like this job, but you don't have to bring it in here and show it to me. I've got my own problems. You're bringing yours up on me. So I try to go in there with a smiling face every day because actually I should be thankful myself. That could be me lying in the bed. Watch your chin. It starts with me when I get to work in the morning to decide how the day is going to run and actually how my patients are going to be taken care of that day. All right.
I look at a lot of these patients and I'll see an expression my dad used to make. All of a sudden, I'm not just taking care of a stranger. I'm taking care of somebody's mother or father. And it could have been my mother or father, you know, and all of a sudden it makes things very personal. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. I think about that. Sometimes I feel a little selfish because I'm always looking for that refreshing.
Every nurse is busy, but Lorraine has learned the enormous importance of her healing presence, even though she understands it's unlikely she'll ever see this patient again.
I am put into a person's life for a season, and then they move on. And sometimes it would be nice to be able to move on and follow and see them get well and go home, but you know, that's not always what our role is.
From the depths of my pain, I seek the poetry of God's grace in your lighted hand, your touch that illuminates the dark land of my agony. I seek the gift of your arms and the surge of your strength to hold my crumbling body. I was once a little girl with the grace of youth. Now in these seconds, I must seek out your youth to ease my old age, to help me turn one more page of life. On this day, in this moment, in these seconds, I ask that you reach out to meet my need with the threads of your strength. I ask that your servant's heart search out my dark suffering and dissolve it in the blood of God's healing light. What does it mean for a loving servant to return to caring for babies when her own baby, her youngest strong son, has been killed, when she herself has been so deeply wounded?
I feel like I do God's work. And I think that you can get in there and touch a family and a baby, and it feels like you can give so much.
Jada, 19 ounces at birth, is now healthy, ready to go home.
What I see when I see these babies is the fighters in them, and I see how they have such a fight for life. And I think if they can do this and they can go through that, it gives me strength to go on.
Group hug. Group hug.
I know I've been weepy all day. This is a Purple Heart, one for her and one for you, for Preemie. We'll stay friends. We've been through a lot. She's a toughie.
It's been the hardest
I know.
4 months I've ever been through in my life.
I've seen you grow too. Just like Cassie said, you have been amazing, Hannah. And look at you're taking home for Christmas.
I just hope I can take care of her.
I've seen you with her, Donna, and you have been amazing. You know your daughter, and you will do wonderful. And you take it a day at a time. Remember how we said at the beginning? A day at a time.
That's all we can do.
And that's doable.
Take and just go.
When they were really sick, her and another little boy were fighting for their lives. He didn't make it, and he sent his toys to go home with Jada. So, little Roland sent his toys. 3 months the 18th. So we never thought we'd see this day with her. I'm gonna miss you. You're a little miracle. I miss you guys. Love you guys.
We love you too.
And everybody. I mean, I was just outside and the stock lady was saying, Jada's going home?
After 4 months of living together,
Love you guys.
4 months of hard work,
Have a Merry Christmas.
Love you. We're gonna start big ones. Bye guys, love you.
4 months of suffering, of tears, and of joy.
Take care.
This family now goes home with their healthy baby.
I'm so happy for them.
Laura and Cassie stay behind to care for the next family.
So much.
In the seasons of the servant's heart, there is life and death, birth, pain, joy, suffering, happiness, fun, exhaustion, and exultation. And in this season, these servants have brought light into the lives of patients. Through their discipline, their hands, their skills, and their commitment of their life work.